And so, before I make my beautiful, fun trip across the southboard Atlantic to Antarctica, we have my friend Jason, who has traveled to Machu Picchu. No, not really.
How long we've known each other?
Too long. Since
What grade? 5th grade?
Fourth or
About
fifth?
fourth?
Fourth or
Something
fifth.
like that, yeah. It's been a long time.
When you lived on Kentucky Avenue.
Oh my God, I was like 8.
No, I mean like closer to like probably 11 or 12.
11? Yeah.
But either one. So I thought it would be a nice little interesting thing to have Jason on the video for my lovely Ukrainsky Druzy. And that is Ukrainian friends. Druzy is
Oh, okay.
friends.
Cool.
And that in Ukrainian.
All right.
And we can also eat a little slice of pizza as well, since we bought a really large, stupid pizza. And everything else. So as the saying is, everything is bigger, fatter, slower in America.
Hold on, did you just call me bigger and fatter?
No, I didn't call you bigger and fatter. I'm bigger and fatter.
Okay.
But still in short, everyone eats more here.
Yeah, for sure.
And then at the same time, not many people walk and everything else, but
it's the system.
yes.
That's
it's
the reason why
system.
everybody in America's fat. It's the damn system. You know why? Because a damn
Convenience.
cheeseburger
Yeah, convenience.
costs less than a freaking carrot. That's why everybody's fat in
Yeah.
America. There you go.
And that's for you, Anna. You would like that, my dentist. No, I know a dentist girl that she's like, people eat this here. No, really.
It's
And
unfortunate.
that- and,
It's unfortunate. People eat donuts for breakfast, and in Paris, donuts are actually a dessert.
yeah, and
What's going on here?
it's just everything. It's convenience, it's laziness, it's everything in between. And, I don't know. It's just like that. But on top of it, I'm sure if Jason didn't get saddled with 4 to 5 kids from Santa, and that he would be the traveling man like me, but he prefers the Philippines.
I do.
In that,
I do,
but
I got a family and I'm settled down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure so maybe one day when they're all like 18 and 20, he might travel with me.
Yeah.
When I'm like 90
Yeah, I'll come over there.
and that. But, I don't know. Besides you, I don't know if you remember the names, like Mark Mittendorf, there was Andrew Wesley, Brad Worrell died, but just trying to think.
Drugs, right?
Yeah, no. Brad died of a heart attack in 2018.
Did he?
Oh, yeah.
I thought he overdosed.
No. He had something going on with the court system, and it was a stress, and he was drinking too much.
Gotcha. Okay,
It
cool.
was something like that. And but regardless of that, it's the funny thing in the U.S. There's a lot of background stress in everyone's life that just chokes the living shit out of you. And that
Well, why is that, though?
just everyone lives. Well, I say it a lot. They live in a box, or they accept the box.
Yep. And once again, it's like we were talking earlier. It's the illusion of freedom.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah.
No, it is. Like, everybody's in a rush here,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
Everybody's
that-
chasing something.
That's a good one. Okay, so when you wake up to go to work, you wake up at like what, 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning?
I wake up at 5 a.m. and I'm at work by 6 a.m.
Okay.
So an hour after I wake up, I walk into my job.
And it takes you what, like 30 minutes to get there, or
About 20.
20? Okay.
Yeah.
So he drives for 20 minutes, and how many miles is that?
It's about 14 and a half miles.
So about
Yeah, it's right over the bridge in Toledo.
it's about like 25 kilometers. Kilometers or more.
Yeah.
And that but now to understand something, like 20 kilometers in Ukraine is like 2 hours, not by car, but by, like, say, by train.
Mm-hmm.
And that, and on the cost of living, it would
Yeah.
cost like $3 to $5 to get there. In another example, I took a taxi once, and that it cost me like $12 or $13 to go the same distance, but it took 40 minutes. And that to get from one town to the other, and that. And it was interesting because it was really foggy that night, and I thought, like, shit, this is why the bus has stopped running so early. And that.
But yeah, it takes me about 20 minutes to get to work. I get there about 6 o'clock. I leave the house about 5:35, 5:40.
Yeah, and you get there, punch in. Then,
Yep.
then you got some work history and seniority, so no one really.
Well, I don't punch in because I'm salary. I'm a manager, but
Yeah,
I got to get everything going and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't get off till 3 p.m.
yeah.
So the majority of my day is
You're at work.
literally spent slaving for money so I can pay my bills, just like
Yeah.
everybody in the United States.
Yeah.
And again, it is the illusion of freedom.
Well,
I'm going to write a book about the illusion of freedom.
I,
Just saying.
yeah. I think you can do it via Amazon very quickly too, and that.
If Amazon won't cancel it.
Oh, who knows? Who
I'm
knows?
just saying.
Who knows in today's
Right.
world?
All right.
I'm just trying to think what other stereotypical things. When we went to high school, we all thought that what would make like $20-$30 an hour, and then we would have like a grand or two left over every month or so for anything. I think if I remember correctly. Well, I don't know, but then of course in reality's world, it's not like that. That's the irony.
So look, I'll tell you right now. Okay?
Sure.
I'll be transparent. Okay?
Sure. Go ahead.
At my job, I make, if you divided my salary up into an hourly basis. On top of that, I run a small business. I run a recruiting company. So now I also do recruiting. All of that is because of inflation currently. And if I don't have those two things going, then I wouldn't be able to afford for my family and I to live a comfortable life. When I say comfortable, I'm not saying that we're flying on, private jets to Vegas over the weekend.
Yeah.
I'm saying to live comfortable, be able to sleep at night without worrying about things.
Yeah. And so out of like the 39, probably let's say $25 an hour of it goes to bills and everything else, something like that, or is it more? Like on an average, like half of the money, or is it a little?
Oh, dude, 75% of my salary goes to. I mean, when it comes to the mortgage and then the phone bill and the car bill and the gas and the electric and just everything you have.
Yeah, the death of 1,000 paper cuts.
And then on top of that, all of that stuff went up in price.
Yeah.
But the wage did not. You see what I mean?
Yeah,
so now you're making the same wage, but everything else is extremely, you know. So it's So having $1,000 left over, I only have money left over because I have a business.
Yeah, gotcha. And that floats it.
Yeah.
So when I was in Ukraine, besides before the war, before Corona,
Corona. It's the China virus. Get
whatever.
it right.
Whichever way it is. But before all of that, Jason was one of these going, "Get the hell out of there, Ricky. Russia's gonna come in and stomp their little tushies in."
Listen,
that was, and I understand Jason's perspective because he's known me most of my life.
Yeah.
But it's the most hilarious thing, and I don't fault you. I fault the people in between, whether it's the news or the people before the news or after the news or whatever is in between. The people that manipulate. That's the key part. They manipulate.
Right. Well, let's go back to that situation. Like, what we were seeing on the news, in the American news, it was like fucking World War III over there.
Yeah.
And dude, I'm texting you. I'm like, Ricky, like, you have to understand, you're my oldest friend. You are my longest, oldest friend. And like, I'm seeing on the news bombs and shit, and I'm like, holy shit. So,
Well, that and me posting on Facebook didn't help either. But...
Right. So I'm texting you like, dude, when you coming home? Get the hell out of there. Shit's hitting the fan, you know?
Yeah.
And you're just like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then you send me pictures of people sipping fucking tea. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here?
No, it's the thing that, and it makes sense if you really think about it.
Mm-hmm.
But even when there was North and South Vietnam, East and West Germany, when it was World War II, and there was Germany, and Germany was expanding and back and forth. You know, it's the irony of history and perception.
Yeah.
And that is that you can have one part of the country that is, let's say, 70% normal, maybe 60% normal, maybe half. And then you'll have another part that's in the way distant part, and it will be the hellscape. But then, in the news, they will clip, and actually I know this because there's photographers and some journalists there, not big people, not people on the news. They will go like to the east, and they'll record, let's say, 5 hours of footage, and then they will clip it like to like an hour or two, where everything's going to hell. They will clip the video from 5 hours, and then they will contact CNN or whatever and go, hey, you know, I got fresh footage. You're gonna pay me like $500 or $1,000 for the footage. Mm-hmm. They do that.
Right.
And that,
sure, yeah.
And that's the thing. That's what every American sees, but yet they never see the map. They never see the geographical area. They just I'm sure long ago you maybe saw a photo of what Ukraine was, but didn't really understand it. But like even in the news that I know of, they don't really show a map of Ukraine. They don't explain where Kyiv is. They don't explain the west of Ukraine. They don't explain the east. They don't explain nothing. They don't even say where Crimea is. They just
Fox
say it's an island.
Fox News, they show maps and stuff, and they explain where everything is. But it's still like the American news. I feel they take the littlest bit of truth and then they wrap a shitload of lies around it.
Yeah. Well,
so they take a picture that might be true, but the story about that picture is completely false.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what the American news does. Instead of just telling the truth. Like, for instance, you know those pictures that you showed me of the area of Ukraine that was demolished, but then they rebuilt it?
Yeah.
We have never seen those pictures of the rebuild on the American news. We only see destruction. That's it. That is it. We don't see nothing positive.
And then they say that's like most of the country. That's the other byline. They'll say that's most of the country.
So they'll take a picture of like a city that may have, or a part of a city that may have got hit by a missile or something, right?
And they'll make it sound like
then they'll make it
blocks.
sound like the entire nation looks just like this, without saying the entire nation looks just like this.
Yeah. and then they make money off of all the advertisers and the commercials and everything.
Well, yeah, because they blow everything up to get everybody's attention. Because they have to make it advertisable. They have to make it palatable.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, let's go watch this. You know.
Yeah. And it's just one of them things. It's just what it is in that general way. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. The fun thing to do. And actually, no, it'd be a third business if you can get into it. I told it to Mark Mittendorf as an idea, is to start up a small business. Start it small first, because you got to test to see if it works. Let's say there's 50 of us guys that all graduated from school, but yet, let's say we only have like a $2,000 budget and want to do some traveling. And then figure out how to price from the plane tickets and this and that, and earn, I don't know, maybe say $300 or $400 a sale, maybe $200 a sale, I don't know. And basically have a niche clientele of like, friends, family that we knew, people we went to school with, they hadn't had a vacation in such a long time. And it's not about Ukraine, but it's a good idea to get them to Europe and then get some good reviews and everything else. That's that's an idea business.
Like, let them see it for themselves.
And
then you're also helping them travel on a budget.
Yeah.
Because you got the skills that they don't have because you personally have traveled. Dude, I've even asked you, like, how the hell, okay?
Yeah.
How the hell you go to Germany and Ukraine and all this shit? You were traveling all over for a while.
Oh, yeah, early 10 years ago.
Yeah, like you were beeping my phone like, hey, I'm here. Hey, I'm here. Hey, look at this. I'm like, what the hell? Little old me haven't even been out of the United damn States.
Oh, that's another thing. That's another thing. Okay, a lot of Ukrainians, they have an internal passport, like a state ID.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have the actual passport.
Yeah.
And what happens is with the internal and not internal, in that most everyone has both. But the thing that I always tell Ukrainians is, I think I could be wrong on the number. Online it says a different number, but I think it's less. It says that half of the country has a passport, like something like 150 million. But this is the thing that I think about, is this. Where were we at? I forgot. Traveling and the business idea, and where were we at? I forgot. Or do you remember?
I don't remember, to be
okay.
honest. But freedom is an illusion. I'm joking.
And then there becomes the culture.
But listen, I think that should be explained sooner or later.
Oh.
That should be explained to people. Look, there's a lot of people, and I don't want to take this over. This is all you.
Sure. No, you're good.
But just real quick. There's a lot of people that live in different countries that don't live in America that look at America as a shining city on a hill. Yeah. And I can understand why, right? We have capitalism, right? You come to America, anybody can literally, if you have the skills and if you have the will to do it, you can pull yourself up from the mud and you can become rich.
Yeah.
That's possible in America. Harder today, right?
Yeah.
And our capitalist system is arranged to make it extremely difficult to do that. But without the capitalism, you can't do it, period. So, but America is better, and I don't want to offend anybody, but America is better for people who are coming in than people who are born here. Okay,
the system is tilting.
Yes, it is tilting, so people can come to America, and Americans that are born in America, they're like, screw you. We're going to take all your money for taxes. But, for instance, if somebody in Ukraine wants to come to America, they don't have to pay taxes for 7 years. They can get a loan without any credit or any knowledge of any credit to start a business. They can go to college for absolutely free.
Yeah. No.
If I want to go to college, I got to pay at least $60,000. And I was born here. So, to some people, America is a shining city on a hill. To Americans, it is not whatsoever.
Yeah. No, there's nothing wrong in saying that.
There's my little rant.
Sorry. No, there's nothing wrong in saying that.
Oh, I love my country.
Yeah.
100%. I got a flag. I mean, you know me.
Well, yeah.
I love my country, but there's a lot of things that need to change in order for it to be great again. And I'm not trouting Donald Trump because I was a Republican way before Trump even thought about taking office. But there's a lot of things that we need to work on to make America what it used to be.
Yeah. And it's just one of them things in that sense.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. You're fine. And that I'm just trying to think the other part of it. Besides what the news says, their advertising, and what else?
So we went from starting that business to we're in business and traveling.
And then I talked about the Kyiv part.
We talked about the news and the Kyiv.
And that, because they manipulate the news. Let me think, what else? Arg. And that.
How about DoorDash? People get ridiculous amounts of food delivered to their homes, and they pay more for it. So they pay DoorDash on top of paying for the food, and then they pay the driver to bring it to them.
Okay.
So a McDonald's cheeseburger now just turned into a $10 cheeseburger.
Okay, well, that's for
People
here.
are fat as shit in America.
Well, yeah,
If you pay $10 for a cheeseburger, you're fat.
Yeah. Well, but,
Just
but
saying.
here's the other part too.
I mean, I'm
It-
fat, so
it-
I can call people fat.
But what happens is, there's not DoorDash in Europe. It's called Glovo. There's
Glovo?
Yeah, it's a Spanish company that's basically took most of Europe by storm.
Oh,
Glovo is the most popular, but it's a Spanish company, and but it's in Ukraine, and I think, if you work really hard for delivering food, you can make about, say, maybe $300 to $400 a month doing delivery.
Over there?
Oh, that would be
American dollars?
Yeah, in American dollars.
See, now over here, with like DoorDash and Uber Eats and Grubhub,
Yeah.
if you work 9 hours a day, you can make about $1,000 a week.
Yeah.
But you have to understand, you're not profiting $1,000. I mean, how much
Yeah.
gas you paying for at $3.49 a gallon? How much gas you paying for,
Yeah,
right?
how
How
much
much maintenance
gas.
on your car?
Yeah, it's
Time-
dwindles down to
time
600
spent,
or 700.
So you're looking at, $15 an hour. At the most, busting your ass 9 hours a day.
And let me think, what else? Let me think, the idea of having friends travel and visit over. I'm just trying to think, what else?
I feel like we're going pew, pew.
Yeah, no. Well, I'm just trying to think of
pinball.
the other idea. I would say also too, which RJ said it in a video of that is before. I think I sent it to you at one time, which RJ was saying how safe it is in Ukraine in general, and that because he was walking around and recording. And of course, the idea from the news, besides the war, this is bad stereotyping of the region. And that let's say in Eastern Europe, anything east of Germany, you would have your kidney stolen, or someone would mug you because you're an American.
Is this true?
Well, you remember all the films when we watched as a kid, Urban Legends or
but
Euro Trip.
But this shit ain't real though. Is what I'm saying, right?
But there's
Like,
a
you
lot.
don't get mugged and get your fucking kidney ripped out.
Oh, well, but there's a lot of bad stereotypes. That's what I'm trying to hit at. Like, the funniest thing is there's bad stereotypes everywhere. That's the key part.
Mm-hmm.
But I found the video with RJ. So like he did this
People that ran the marathon today,
like this
injury-free, which was good. And just walking along the streets,
With
just
me.
had a nice, just had a nice meal.
That's how you know it's me. I'm not an imposter.
Yeah, I don't know if we want to use names, but I guess maybe edit it out if we need to. But my bad. Just like to be discreet, but definitely some people with some political and legal connections here in
He was
Ukraine.
on
So we got a
Fox
very
too, by the way.
unique and different perspective on Ukraine. But I wanted you to see this. Here we are walking downtown Kyiv. Now, granted, it's Sunday night, but you can just see all of the people walking, the activity. I feel perfectly safe here. No issues whatsoever. I guarantee you cannot do this in Chicago, New York City, Detroit,
100% correct.
Oakland,
Yeah.
San Francisco,
You try.
LA.
Listen.
Not only is it
Okay, wait one
unsafe to
second.
be accosted by panhandlers.
Okay, yeah, sure.
You
Go
try
ahead.
running a marathon in Chicago, bro. There's two things gonna happen. Somebody's gonna shoot you because they thought that you're running and you stole something from them, or you're a gang member, or the cops are gonna shoot you because they're thinking you're a criminal.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
no marathons in Chicago for that reason. Listen, I would feel safe in that area of Kyiv. at
Yeah.
that time. At the time this video was made,
And that's
I'd
like
prefer-
that's,
I would go to Kyiv before I would walk down downtown Toledo.
Yeah. Now to give some explanation on it, the video is with Chryshatic, and now what Chryshatic is like, say for Monroe, it's like the main street of Monroe,
Yeah.
like right where all the businesses are running through downtown,
Mhm.
or right near the courthouse.
Right.
That's the idea of what the location is like, and idea of what the city is. And the other part too is there's more of a walking culture, but I'll give the contrast. There's a lot of news which I think toys with everyone's head. It toys with everyone's head about the 15-minute city thing and getting rid of cars. That's the interesting thing. I'm not against the whole 15-minute city thing, but sometimes I think that they don't proportionately go into depth and explanation of the pro and the con.
Who does a 15-minute city thing? What are you talking about?
Okay, so to give the example, in most of Ukraine, or not most of Ukraine, most of the cities, how most of the cities are built.
You can walk through them in 15 minutes.
Well, not the 15 minutes, but the idea in the 15-minute city, which it's roughly true, is so if I live here, at least within 5 minutes, you can go to what is an idea of a Kroger's. It would be like a Silpo. And you can walk there, and you can buy food and then walk back within 5 minutes, besides spending money.
So everything's
So-
accessible within walking distance.
Yes, within like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
That's the idea. But now the negative connotation, the negative idea is that will limit how everyone is living in a square confined area. That's what they say in the news. However, I agree with that to some extent.
Yeah.
However, there's another side to this, is what they don't talk about is the fact that either A, everyone is outside and exercising and walking, so they're subtly, subconsciously getting healthy or having a social interaction at some level. Or the fact that, for everything you eat, when we eat it in the US, we basically are sitting inside most of the time, and then we're chowing down and not doing much more. And when you're in Ukraine, it's basically you walk around for 2 or 3 hours, where whatever you're doing, if you're just killing time or you're boring yourself, you walk around for 2 or 3 hours, so it's like walking half a mile in a day. And then you sit down and eat, and then you're walking maybe a quarter more of a mile, depending where you're living or whatever.
Yeah, so
So you're walking roughly, let's say, half a mile.
So I agree.
Or half a kilometer or a kilometer a day in that.
Yeah, in America.
So there's a give and take with that. There's
Yeah.
a give and take.
Dude, we're lazy here. Everything, listen, it's the Amazon effect.
Yeah. Or
You
the
can
Netflix
you can do
effect.
this. You can pick up your phone. You can go broop broop and have something at your door.
Yeah.
Within hours.
1 second. I gotta check to see what. Oops. 1 second here. About not getting fat, but
Ricky Gay. Okay.
oh yeah. Well, no. What were we going on? The freedom is an illusion.
We didn't fully explain that, but it is. Anyways, no, about how Americans about the food.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The food. Chemicals in the food.
I was mentally going there.
Sure,
You
sure.
read my fucking mind.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
All right. So, the shit in this pop,
Or actually, I should go closer.
I'll tell you right now.
Like that.
the stuff in this pop is, in some countries, are illegal. The food dye in Skittles in America, 17 countries outlawed the food dye that we use in Skittles
Yeah.
that people give to their children
Yeah.
because it's poisonous. I mean, not like a kid ain't gonna pop a Skittle and die.
Yeah.
But if they popped 1,000 Skittles,
That Jessica.
listen,
Now you recognize her? Or oops.
Oh yeah. That's what I was thinking of. But anyways, if they pop 1,000 scales, dude, yeah. So look,
Yeah.
the food here is highly fattening, very unhealthy.
Yeah.
Is there healthy food? Absolutely. Is there organic food? Absolutely.
Costs more.
Hugely costs more. And then people say, well, why don't you just change the way you eat?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? That's easy to do if you have the resources to do that. Now, I have the resources to do that. I don't eat like shit all the time, right?
I do.
I have the resources to do that. But here's the thing. And this might be going back to politics a little bit, but there are neighborhoods. There are poor ghetto neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Okay? Down the road from us right now,
Yeah.
right? What's in those neighborhoods? Wendy's, McDonald's, all
Yeah,
the fast
all
food
fast-
joints because they all got a 99-cent menu.
Yeah.
So they are literally taking advantage of people who have no money,
Yeah.
and they are literally saying, here's the most unhealthiest shit for you, so give me what you do have, and I'll give you this so you won't starve.
Yep.
So again, the system is working against the people.
Well, yeah, it's
Once again.
it's means of access. It's means of
Absolutely,
access
yes.
in that. So what is the closest to you? You would have access to. Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about, the 15-minute city thing
Mhm.
for access and accessibility of how you get things done.
Yep.
And that's another thing too. In Ukraine, I would say some parts of Germany, not all of Germany, but in Poland, yes, in Poland and Ukraine, there's a lot of mom and pop shops, and that like they're literally run by the families. They're not franchised. They're not anything else. It's basically like, and the zoning laws don't really. I don't think they exist in Ukraine. So you have people living above the business, or they live adjacent somewhere, let's say within a 5-minute walk of
Right.
where they're living and working. And it's just that way. And a lot of times family is hiring family, and it becomes, well, the family cartel business. Not that type of cartel.
What to say? We can talk about that.
Well, yeah, that's a whole nother apple with drugs and the border and everything else and
Mafias and
Yeah.
Anyway, dude, if we go down that rabbit hole, you're gonna have to clear everything up of this camera, dude.
Yeah, sure.
We'll be here
But,
for hours.
Yeah. But because he was asking me a lot. His name is Jared. He was asking me a lot of what was going on in Ukraine because he was reading what the news was saying, and then I was clarifying it. And I explained it to him. He goes, what I'm looking at, it says like World War III is going to start in Ukraine. And
You ain't kidding.
Yeah.
That's exactly what the image that they put.
yeah,
was.
now, and I told him, I gave him another perspective, which is if you think about how West and East Germany became created, how North and South Korea became created, and it was North and South Vietnam, what I really think is going to go on is they will divide up Ukraine, which I know this pisses off every Ukrainian when they hear this, but it needs to be thought of. Is they may split Ukraine 50-50 or 75-25, and what will happen is basically you will have a dividing line, and then you will have a new Cold War where there will be new agencies. You understand where I'm going with this?
I do.
And basically at the end of the day, it will be like a paranoia fight. Is he with us? Is he with them? Is he with us? Is he with them? He needs to prove his loyalty. They are against us, but we are against them. It's the best way, basically, when there, and this is my honest opinion, when there is no economy, how do you create an economy? You create a fictitious or fabricated event, which makes people spend money, which makes people run in the circle, which then creates the economy at scale, from a larger scale to a smaller scale and reverse.
So since you
It motivates people.
since you brought it up, I'm going to go there.
Okay,
Okay.
Go ahead, Jason.
So you brought it up,
Gotcha.
right? Right. They create events, right, that trigger people to do a certain action.
Yeah.
What do you think COVID was?
Oh, no.
COVID was exactly that. Now listen, I am not saying that the disease was fake. I know people that were sick. I
Yeah.
know people that passed away. So it's not a game.
Yeah.
Okay? But do I honestly think it was a oopsie? Shit, we just leaked the virus to the fucking world? No. It was planned, it was thought out, and America was the biggest player in the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because it brought a lot of new regulations to America. Now, I don't know about any other country, but it brought about new regulations to America, forced Americans to do things that we normally wouldn't do, that are now thought of like, oh, it's just another day. When 15 years ago, you would have looked at somebody that wore a fucking mask and was like, what the fuck are you doing? Are you a window licker? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was one event that I think that plays right into what you're saying. It forced us to take action. Okay, just like the water crisis up here in northwestern Ohio. Remember the water crisis? I think you might have been in Ukraine. We had a water crisis here. Everybody had to buy bottles of water. No one can drink from the tap.
This was 2019 to 2023? Somewhere in there?
2019-ish.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
of the algae surfacing, blah, blah, blah. Everyone had to buy bottles of water. They could not drink the water,
I
right?
read about that, but I didn't think it
Yeah.
was that bad.
Dude, it was horrible. There were lines out Walmart. Walmart couldn't keep water. Sam's Club couldn't keep water. Costco couldn't keep water. Because everyone had to buy drinking water. Now, guess what? Everybody buys bottles of water because no one wants to drink the tap water because everybody thinks it's shit.
Yeah. Creates an economy.
There
out
you
of
go.
scale.
There you go. You see what I mean? So, yes. Anyways, it's exactly what, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and you know, the other thing too is sometimes it takes, when you're not always working all the time, it takes you sometimes to sit down and think these things through. Then you realize a track and pattern with everything. And that, let me see here.
Dude, with COVID,
Yeah.
look, with COVID,
Yeah.
okay, this is what I don't understand. Okay, there's
And COVID lasted about 2 or 3 weeks in Ukraine, and then it was just pulled down the
It was done.
mask. Yeah.
It was done. Yeah. That's how it should have been here. Anyways, but not just COVID. Okay, look.
Yeah.
Right. What's the biggest disease in America?
Heart disease.
Heart disease and cancer.
Yeah.
How long have we been trying to find a cure for cancer?
Oh, 60, 80 years. Somewhere in there.
Right. The cure to heart disease is to eat healthy. That's the only cure. We all know that, right? That's fucking science, right? We can't find a cure to cancer in 70 fucking years. But we can create a vaccine for an unknown fucking disease called COVID in 9 fucking months.
Yeah, no, true.
Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, you know,
It created an economy for the drug companies.
yeah.
And the government pushed it like fucking cocaine peddlers is
Yeah.
exactly what they did.
Yep. Oh, by the way, you know, one thing I did want to cover, the gun part. Like,
Oh, yeah, go
Or,
ahead, dude. I'm proud. Go ahead.
well, no. Well, if you wanted to show the
Nope,
gun or
can't
not.
do that.
Oh,
Nope.
You can't do
I'll
that?
flag the government.
Oh,
Joe,
okay.
Joe
Well-
Biden would probably be pissing on himself right now if he said
Okay. Well, since he
Sorry,
doesn't-
Joe, if
since-
you hear this.
Well, since he doesn't want to show it, Jason here, I don't know when he got his concealed carry.
Long time ago.
They call it a CPL or a CCW, and that he got it at some point, and then, as the world is going more crazy, in that you sometimes have to be more crazier than the other crazier person. That's the best way to put it. That's the easiest way to put it. And again, a lot of Ukrainians think it's a nice, peaceful, quiet little world in America, and there's no danger around the corner. That's the best way I can put it.
Yeah. Well, the stuff, and I don't know because I'm not in Ukraine, right? You would know better than me.
Yeah,
The stuff that Ukrainians see about America, right?
it's Hollywood side.
It's the glamour side, right? They don't see people in tents on the street. They don't see homeless people sleeping under bridges, right?
Yeah,
They don't see the ghettos.
Yeah.
Where I'm from, the hood,
yeah.
right? They don't see those, right?
Yeah.
Just like when we get footage of Ukraine, we see the disaster. We don't see the rebuild,
Yeah.
right? or we don't see people in the town square. We see people running for their lives.
Yep.
Things like
Yep.
that. So that's the difference. But in America, it is safer than a lot of other countries, I would say.
Yes.
But there are a lot of other countries that are safer than America. Okay?
Yes. Yeah.
Just like you mentioned, when the people were walking down, downtown
In Ukraine, in
the
Khrushchev.
Ukraine, yeah, you're not doing that in Chicago. You're not doing it in Detroit. You're not doing it in Toledo. You're not doing it in
Or
New York.
you're doing it very limitedly.
Yeah, people don't even want to take a subway in New York without fear of getting killed.
Yeah.
Right now, at this point, right now, at this moment of making this video, people in New York are scared for their lives to take the subway.
Yeah. And you can't really buy a gun in New York either. That's a whole other thing.
No, so because it's a Democratic ran city, and that's a whole other story. But yeah, I carry a gun everywhere I go. I don't have I carry a gun. I have a license called a concealed weapons permit,
Yeah.
which prohibits me to carry a gun. But they passed a new law in Ohio, where I'm from.
Yeah.
Well, not where I'm from.
Where you're living.
Where I live. I live in Ohio. Now, anybody can carry any weapon as long as it's concealed without a license.
Yeah.
So, if you want to carry a gun on your hip in Ohio,
Yeah.
that's legal. You can walk down the street with
The-
a gun
the-
on your hip.
The Old West way. The
Yes.
Old West way.
Yeah. So you can do that now in Ohio. But the concealed weapons permit allows you to conceal it. So let me make sure that I'm being accurate. So right now in Ohio, anybody can carry a firearm. You can literally walk down the street with a rifle.
Yeah.
And you might get stopped by the police. They might take it and ask you what the hell you're doing. They might look at it, run it, scan it, make sure it's yours. But you cannot go to jail for it if you're not committing a crime.
Yep.
For CCW, allows you to have a firearm concealed so nobody knows you have it. So I can put it under my shirt and nobody would know that I have a gun.
Yes, and you take training for it. The
Yes.
key thing is you
Yes.
have to take training.
There is classes and training and shooting courses and stuff. You got to be safe with it. But I want people in Ukraine to understand that
Yeah.
people with CCWs aren't driving around with pistols out the window. You know,
Those are the gangbangers.
Yeah, it's not like that. No.
Yeah.
But there are and I'm sure people in Ukraine has heard about the school shootings here in America.
Not so much. They maybe heard of, let's say
Yeah.
Columbine, or maybe one or two.
I can
but
tell you right now, it probably don't happen in Ukraine.
No, it doesn't.
There are school shootings here in the land of the free. Kids are getting killed because cycles with guns are breaking into these schools and shooting it up.
And there's a huge sign that says weapon-free zone.
Weapon-free zone. So for people like me, there are millions of people in America that think like I do. The more guns people are allowed to have and carry responsibly, the less crime there will be. And that is true. I bet you right now in Chicago, by the way, Chicago, it's illegal to have a firearm in Chicago for a citizen. You cannot do it, period. No CCW, no nothing.
Yeah.
And so Chicago is the murder capital of the nation.
Yeah.
What does that say?
Well, yeah, there was also a stabbing recently for a 70-year-old woman in that walking her dog. Let me check the time.
So in Chicago,
I think we got 2 minutes, but we're good.
So in Chicago, somebody can kick down your door and rob you and kill you in your house, and you're not allowed to defend yourself with a gun.
Yeah. And that becomes the litigious argument of the court and everything else.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to think of what else.
I guarantee you, if you break into my house, you're getting a bullet in the head.
Or you announce who you are, and he goes, "Okay, Ricky. Okay,
Well,
lower my
If it's
gun."
Ricky, But if it's anybody else but Ricky, you better watch it.
Or if Ricky's voice suddenly changed and he goes, "The fuck, that's Ricky. That ain't Ricky." And that's a different type of Ricky. But yeah, I just thought the video part would be the fun part for friends both sides to either first hear a different accent in American English other than mine, and then it makes people think a little bit at the same time. That's the key part of it.
I wish those I wish this video could be longer because there's so much
Oh, no.
stuff that we didn't talk about that I wish we could.
That's why we should just create a show when you have the free time.
We should.
Mark Mittendorf wants to do
Dude,
the same thing, but
we
he
got
works
Zoom.
night.
Let's do it. We should get us all on Zoom, right? Zoom, Skype, what the hell ever.
Yeah,
Get us all on Zoom, Skype, certain time,
and just bullshit talk.
and just freaking do it out. And dude, you can put it on whatever. You can
Yeah.
publicize it.
Yeah, Mark Mittendorf wants to do it too, but he ends up working nights. He's got something like a high loader job or something.
Yeah, like a forklift driver or something.
I don't know,
Yeah,
something
probably
like that.
warehouse.
And he works nights. I know that much.
We should do it though.
Yeah, and it just kicked. But let's see, or no, it's giving me the warning, and that so.